Hello, and welcome to this week's Mucky and Nut Bunch podcast with me, Gareth, your host, and Keith, my co-host.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. Hello.
Hello. How are we doing?
Doing well. I've watched a lot of TV this week.
Me
a lot of
too.
TV. There's a lot of
Me
stuff
too.
to watch.
Yes.
What was there? Severance, incredibly short. Paradise, really fucking good. Reacher, good. Daredevil, Born Again. I only watched the first episode of that because I watched it with Mrs. And I watched Rollerball. And when I said you don't have to watch it, Keith, I'll talk about it. And then I said it's got boobies in it. You went, oh, I'll watch it. We'll do it next week. So we'll do it next week because Keith wants to see boobies. It's slightly better than direct to video or streaming film, if that makes it slightly better. But it's not a touch on the original, I've been told. And yeah, so we got that. We've got some news to go through. Yeah, so what have you been watching, Keith?
Pretty much everything you watched. I have seen both episodes of Daredevil twice. Because I rewatched all of Paradise again.
Yeah.
Dude, so much hidden. Once you've seen all 8 episodes and you go back and watch it again, you're like, hey, shit. You realise that he had this plan from the start, which is a good thing, right?
Oh, it's a very good thing.
So it just makes me appreciate it even more. But yeah, we've definitely got to talk about that.
The cow thing was so fucking sad.
We've got to talk about it.
We'll get there, but it was so sad. Yeah. It was one of the saddest things I think I've seen. We'll go through it when we get there.
But all in all, sad that Paradise has ended. Glad that we're getting a second season. Glad that we're getting a second season next year. So God bless the head writer and showrunners come out and said, this is not going to be like streaming shows. We'll get it out for you next year. You're not going to have to wait that long. It's like,
well, it was from what was Fox. So yes. It's from a network TV. So that makes it a damn sight more reliable, which is a good thing. And we got it. We didn't get it. It's like we didn't get like 3 episodes in a break and then 5 episodes in a break. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so there's been a lot of TV this week. A lot of good TV this week. So when I've had time, that is busy week work wise, but good TV this week for the most part. Even Severance was a bit weird, but towards the end I was like, now we're actually maybe going somewhere, but who knows? We've still got another 2 episodes, I think, of Severance. So
yes.
But Reacher was good as well. So we've got a lot to talk about. Yeah, lots to talk about.
So let's start off with the news. I'll play.
All right, Gold Member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only 2 things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
What?
Oh, hang on a second. Let me just settings wrong. There we go. Gene Hackman, the iconic actor renowned for his roles in films like The French Connection and Unforgiven, has passed away at the age of 95. His wife, Betsy Akora, I can't present, a classic pianist, has also died at 65. The couple were found deceased in a Santa Fe, New Mexico home on February 26, 2025, along with one of their dogs. It appears that his wife had died first, but Gene Hackman was suffering from Alzheimer's and didn't know, and then shortly died after. And the dog, poor dog, starved to death. On the bright side, we know what's happening. Know what happened. And the downside, it's tragic. Even if it's your neighbour, if that happened to your neighbour, that's still awful. If it happened to someone down the street, it's still an awful thing to happen. But yeah, we now know what it was. They reckon his wife succumbed to the hantavirus. It's a rare heart disease transmitted by rodent exposure. But yeah, it's they were married for 34 years, which is not for Hollywood. That's eons. That's two ice ages for Hollywood.
Most Hollywood. Yeah.
But he lived in New Mexico, so
there have been long marriages in Hollywood. But
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, who are married, but they won't say it.
Okay, because funny enough, I watched that. The other thing I watched this week was that Netflix thing with their daughter, Kate Hudson, which actually was not. It was good background fodder, and it made me laugh in places. And that's got a second season, also being made for next year. Look at this. I know. I mean, shock horror. But I mean, they're trying to pass off Kate Hudson as like 35. It's like, you're not 35. It's like there was like these flashbacks of like 1995, and she's like this 5-year-old girl. It's like, she's older than me. Sorry, Kate, but you are. And I definitely wasn't 5 in 1995. I wish I was 5 in 1995. Unfortunately, I was doing fucking year 10 and GCSEs.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, at least now we know what it was. I mean, it was looking slightly dodgy last week. I mean, it is tragic, this, because I mean, it was a few days afterwards that Gene died, and they're speculating that he had no idea. So you know, I think we probably lost Mr. Hackman a few years ago, unfortunately, to the terrible disease. But at least in some ways, I suppose he was unaware.
Yeah.
So, and he did have a very good innings, 95, bless him.
Yeah.
And he leaves behind a body of work which will be remembered for a long time. All right, as Chuck says in the comics, R.I.P. Lex. You were a legend, sir. There's not much more we can say on that.
Apart from, I think French Connection was probably. I think it was a film.
French Connection was probably the best film. For. Yeah.
Because that was. I just remember them talking about how the stunt person went out in the early morning and filmed one of the things with the camera on the car, so he could get the footage without anyone knowing. That was a great kind of story in that, but yeah, it's sad. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather not dwell on it too much, but it was just one of those things that kind of bookend from last. So
that's why we put it in there.
So let's move on to our next one. Actually, this will do for this one. Kate Mulgrew, renowned for her portrayal of Captain Janeway in Star Trek Voyager, has recently hinted at the possibility of returning to her iconic role in a new live-action series. During the event aboard the Star Trek cruise, Mulgrew addressed fans' inquiry about potential Janeway spin-off. There's a conversation happening. It is being pursued, she says. Now, my first issue goes like this. If it's Secret Hideout, it ain't happening. If it's Paramount or Skydance, it might be happening. But if it's Secret Hideout, it's not happening.
I have half a centimetre more hope on this one. The reason being is that Protostar was genuinely quite good as a cartoon. It was... Prodigy, sorry. Why it was the
Protostar.
Why it was called the Protostar, the ship. I mean, it was a kids' show, but it was also a real successor to Voyager. There was a lot of Voyager cast in it. I mean, it had the Doctor, Chakotay was in it, and it had various other cameos. But it was great seeing Janeway. She truly does love the character. She is not woke. I have heard her speak. I have heard her talk about the destruction of Picard. She has hinted that she was not happy with Prodigy being taken off air. She has hinted at the fact that she didn't like certain stories and therefore refused to do them. So again, if this is true, then we might get something that's of some kind of quality. Because I think Prodigy felt more like Star Trek than anything else that they've done. It felt more true to the original, whilst modernizing it. Don't get me wrong, there was modernized things in there, and the kids, and we had these different kids, but it never talked about all this identity bullshit. It talked about the things that were at the core of Star Trek, which was hope and just being decent. And striving to be your best, which is what Star Trek was always all about. And that Prodigy had that at its heart, and that's possibly why I related it. It was kiddie in places, and it wasn't for everybody, but at its heart it was not any of this crap that we've had before, and that's why I liked it. I always liked Janeway as a character. I always liked Voyager as a character. Looking back, I probably nowadays prefer Deep Space Nine, but I still liked Janeway as a character. If you were going to do a female strong captain, that was the way you should have done it. Because she kind of earned that part.
So my brain's trying to figure out how we do this. There's I can see 3 ways that we do it. Yeah. 1, you bin that Starfleet Academy series and you set it in the Picard timeline, and you put Janeway in charge of the Academy, which would make it a bit more interesting. 2, Janeway's the head of the Admiralty for all of Starfleet, and some shit goes down and she has to deal with it. Yeah, so you get to see what it's like from the Admiral side, because in Star Trek, the Admirals were always the bad guys. Seriously, in Next Generation, every Admiral that turned up was always a bad guy, which was like a terrible thing to do. Or you have it so you've got another ship and she's just visiting and something happens and the captain and the XO get killed off, or the captain gets killed off and the XO's not capable of doing it, and she says, I'll get you out of this, I've done it once before. Which would be a great kind of line at the end. I've done it before, we'll be fine.
Interestingly, I mean, at the end of season 2 of Prodigy, because again, Kate Mulgrew was critical and absolutely insistent that her character fight against this, because Janeway believed in the core principles of the Federation, and God bless her for sticking to it, because at the end of Prodigy, it coincides with the bloody thing from Picard season 1 where the androids revolt, right? She had retired. She retires due to a number of reasons, and then she's brought back. And the Federation at the end of it is become very insular. You know, it's pulled back all of its science and exploration, and it's all about, you know, protecting borders and making the Federation great again. And it is meant to be a thing of that. But it's interesting that Janeway highly disagrees with this. And again, because she basically sends the kids off on the Protostar as a science vessel, which again gives me hope, because she said that you know, Janeway would be totally against this, and she's right. So if they bring it back, it's not going to be like fucking Patrick Stewart going, oh, let's make an anti-Brexit show. It's all going to be about the character, and I will give Kate Mulgrew her dues. She likes that character, she knows that character, and she honors that character. And if you ever hear her talk in when she does conventions and things, she is genuinely, she is a Star Trek fan, as well as somebody that pushes it, and I like that about her. So, but I'm interested in this because I'm not sure it's a Janeway show. I think this could be Legacy. And I think they could, you know, I think, what are they going to do? They're going to fight. You see, we know that William Shatner was approached. Yeah. We know that Kate Mulgrew has been approached. Now, she was meant to be what ended up being Tim Russ's Tuvok in Picard season 3. If you're going to do a Janeway show, you have to have Seven. Yeah. And Seven is now Captain Seven of the Enterprise. If you're going to do Captain Seven, you've got to bring all that in. I don't think this is a Janeway show. I think this is Legacy, or a version of it. And it would be a very wise thing indeed to do.
Do you think they'd do it a bit like The Expanse, where you get perspectives? So you get the Janeway perspective, you get the William Shatner perspective, you get the 7 of 9 perspective. So that she's on the Enterprise, Shatner's woken up on that station, and Mulgrew's at the, Janeway's at the Starfleet headquarters, sort of thing.
I think they're going to follow up from the Daystrom station where you saw Kirk's body, right? And somehow he's going to get resurrected and end up on the Enterprise with 7, because where else are you going to put Kirk?
If they do it, they have to do it so he needs to get to the Enterprise to tell them something, and there's no communications or something, and it has to make the meeting like mean something, if that makes any sense.
I mean, if they do a Janeway show, it's got to have 7 in it. You don't have her as some washed up, person, tending her plants in the thing. She was brought back to the Federation. She's always been part of the Federation. Why she retires at the end of Protostar does follow the character, but she comes back, right? Because she is all about duty. At the end of the day, she was always about duty. And if it is a pure Janeway show, but I don't think it is, because I think that William Shatner story is telling. And I don't think this is... I think this is Skydance. I think this is Skydance going, how can we make money out of this? Well, we know that everybody went absolutely loopy for the idea of Legacy. Maybe we can't get Terry Mathias, but let's do something. Let's get back popular characters. Let's bring back some hope from the fans. How do we do that? Well, Picard season 3 managed to do it, so let's just do that. And it could be that that's exactly what they're doing. It could be that somebody somewhere has finally got a bit of fucking common sense and is doing something. And if they have, that's great, because I could see a continuation from Picard season 3, and as long as it toes that same line, I'm all right with it. I mean, if you want to throw the next gen characters in there, okay, but actually, if we're going to throw Janeway in there, we're going to have Bill Shatner in there, I'm up for that. I would love to see Bill Shatner back, even if it's just in a cameo thing or one last hurrah that is official, rather than the sort of Roddenberry thing, which I still like, but I know why people don't. I want to see him actually talk on camera again. I want them to officially canonize his return, and then if he dies again, this time it's got to be a real proper heroic send-off, or he just disappears off into the stars on some kind of energy being thing, maybe make him Kirk is eternal kind of thing. If they fix that, if they do what they did in Spider-Man 3, where they fixed all my fucking problems with all of those films, I will be one of the happiest Star Trek fans on the planet.
Oh, you're that lucky. As I said before, I said before, I think what I heard was that it was Secret Hideout that announced this.
Oh, no. Bill Shatner tweeted it.
No, the Janeway thing. Not the
They've been trying to do a Janeway thing for a while. And the rumor is that she's been against it because of what they wanted to do. Because they wanted to change the character. And she was like, no, that's not Janeway. Right? That's not Janeway. Jerry Ryan needed the work, but she totally disagrees. Apparently behind closed doors, she disagrees with 7 becoming a lesbian. She was like, why? So
she was. I'm going to be honest with you. If you watch Voyager, she was aggressively heterosexual.
No,
she was. She was like kind of. You seem tense, Mr. Kim. Because shall we have sex? So, he melts like a candle in front of a fire.
I always liked her because she earned that. She wasn't a girl boss. She earned that. She had some great fucking lines. I still love. I think it was the beginning of that two-parter that where what was it called? The one where time's constantly changing. Oh,
the Year of War.
Yeah. And right at the beginning, there's like this puny little ship that turns up. It's like threatening her. And she's like, unless you've got something more in those torpedo tubes. It's just like brilliant line.
What you call it? That I think the Year of Hell, or was it? Yeah, Year of Hell. Sorry, not Year of War. The Year of Hell is probably the Voyager's best story. That one is.
Yes.
We've got a Captain Nemo style guy who's played by Clarence Bodicker from RoboCop. I love that one. That was a really good story.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't know, because my worry is if it's attached to Secret Hideout,
yep,
then it's not happening. It's just what Secret Hideout's trying to do is they're trying to hold on to the Star Trek franchise for as long as they can before it transfers off, because they know if they announce these things and people cancel it, it causes uproar, and that's always their MO. They always, and you've seen it with Star Trek Academy, yeah? They've announced the second season before the first season has even finished filming. Yeah?
I don't know how it's finished. But yeah, you're right. They announced it before it's even aired, and you saw those cast photos at the end, and people going, how can you tell it's going to be bad? It's just, look at the cast pictures, look at the type of people they've cast, you know it's going to be bad. You just know it. Right. I mean, although it does have a couple of good actors in it. Anyway, what's next, Batman?
Let's move on to our next story.
Put a chicken in and make her name and
Amazon's acquisition of MGM in 2022 has granted the tech giant creative control over the James Bond franchise, leading to discussions about expanding the 007 universe. Proposals include a spin-off centered around characters like Miss Moneypenny and CIA operative Felix Leiter, as well as introducing a female 007. Initially, long-time producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson resisted these changes, but with Amazon now at the helm, these ideas are being revisited. Shit.
I can understand why Broccoli called Amazon stupid. And they are stupid, quite clearly. Look, what makes Bond special is it's one film every couple of years, right?
Scarcity.
Which is great. They make a lot of money because of that, partly. No one gives a flying fuck about Felix. No one is going to watch a Moneypenny series, right? Because people don't watch James Bond for those characters. I will say this. I know that it's not politically correct. I don't give a shit, right? Right. Men want to be him. Women want to be with him. Yeah, that's the appeal of James Bond, right? I don't care how unpolitically correct that is, because it's true, right? Men fantasize about being him. Women fantasize being with him, right? It's annoying. My wife finds Daniel Craig quite attractive. It really annoys me because I think he's the worst Bond. I mean, if it had been Pierce Brosnan, I could have accepted that. Right, right.
So I can think of one thing that they could do, but it means going in a completely different direction. Yeah, it should be a comedy called Q Division, because there were always the comic moments in there, and it could just be them fucking around building gadgets. Yeah.
The only way you make that work is if you get Cleese back, and no one's going to employ Cleese.
Cleese is hiding out in a Caribbean island. The lucky fuck.
Well, that, and he's very outspoken about these idiots in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Amazon are going to destroy James Bond if they're not careful. And the thing is, you just wonder. Everybody's saying the same thing, and they're still going to go ahead and do it. I mean, I get it. Look, it's not for everyone, but that was the appeal for James Bond. That's what made it appealing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a male fantasy, and it had fast cars and lots of gadgets, and sexy women, and that's what men liked. And a lot of women watched it because handsome James Bond. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it is. That was the appeal, and it still was, even through the Pierce Brosnan series. It still was. Even Casino Royale, to a certain extent, still had some of the flavour of Bond with the Aston Martin and the gadgets, even though at some points he was driving around in a Ford Focus.
If it was, if that was like pre-007 status, yeah, and it's like he's got the Ford Focus, and then he gets the Aston Martin, so you see that he's got a clear bloody upgrade. That would have made a bit more sense, but when you say it like that, it makes me giggle.
There is another theory around why these are coming out, because whilst Amazon and like thing you put out, you know, who do you want to be Bond and everything, there is a rumor that they are postponing it until 2027, the next Bond film.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a very good reason why.
Why is that?
Because a certain director won't be available till then.
Okay.
Now, if you want to relaunch Bond and you want to take Bond back partly to its roots, what director do you hire, Gareth?
Well, there's only one director that's famous enough in Hollywood at the moment. And that's Chris Nolan. Oh, fuck. I wanted to say something funny. I couldn't think of anything funny then. It's really annoying.
I actually read a serious article today going, why should Chris Nolan direct the next Bond movie? And it looked feasible. And Nolan's never made a secret that he wants to do it. I think it would appeal to his ego. Here, Mr. Nolan, do you want to make the next Bond movie and relaunch Bond? You know, make a new Bond. I think Nolan might go for it. I don't mind waiting an extra year if Nolan's going to direct it, because a Nolan Bond will be fucking good.
Yeah, true.
I've just understood what she's saying now. Well, all the women like Sharp. My mum liked Sharp. She used to tell my dad it was for the story, and I know that was a load of bollocks. Hell, I liked watching Sharp. Oh, come on, he's a handsome man. There's that line in Paradise.
He's northern, for fuck's sake.
No, there's that line in Paradise that Billy goes, hell, I'd fuck him, about when he talks about cows. Present. I love that line. I mean, I get it. I get it. But GoldenEye's still one of my favourite Bond movies of all time, actually. Brilliant bad guy. Brilliant fucking bad guy he was. And that's what you've got to return to slightly. And I reckon Nolan can do it. But I read this serious thing, and they reckon that's partly why Amazon's coming up with all this bullshit, so that people don't forget it. Because the actual Bond film might be a Nolan. Now, if they want to make a Felix Leiter's series, and then they announce at the same time Chris Nolan's going to direct the next Bond film, but you're going to have to wait a while he finishes on his current movie and then does the whole Oscar rounds and things like that. Yeah, I'm down with that. If Amazon choose Nolan, there's hope.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. But female okay. 007, I think this is bullshit. But
as I said, it won't work. As I said, do a comedy, Q Division. Just them fucking around with all their toys and bits, cocking things up.
I mean, I kind of liked Ben What's-His-Face as Q. I thought he was a good choice. I mean, it was one of the things I did like about the What's-His-Face era, Craig era. I did quite like him as Q. But I also kind of loved What's-His-Face, John Cleese as the like new Q or R as it was called.
For replacement.
Fingers crossed. That's all I'm going to say. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Let's move on to our next story. See if you can guess what it is by this.
Hello, Dave.
I'm sorry?
Is that Dave?
HBO's upcoming Harry Potter TV series is making significant strides in its casting process, with reports of that key roles nearing confirmation. The highly anticipated Harry Potter TV show by HBO is progressing in its development, with notable actors reportedly in tasks to join the cast. These developments have sparked discussion amongst fans and entertainment community alike. With Papa Lazarou, I can't say his name, he's Papa fucking Lazarou, as Severus Snape. Emmy-nominated actor Papa Lazarou is reportedly finalising the deal to provide Professor Snape. Lazarou is known for his roles in May I Destroy You, Gangs of London, bringing a fresh perspective to a complex character originally portrayed by Alan Rickman. Oh, and Janet McTiernan Yeah, he's going to play Professor McGonagall.
Now, this is the thing, right? I saw the McGonagall casting news first, and some websites are saying that it's confirmed. Having watched her in a couple of things, I actually think she might be a quite interesting McGonagall. She's got that sternness. She is different to Maggie Smith. You are never, ever going to follow Maggie Smith, right? So what do? You need to find the rumored Irish lass that was going to play. She wasn't right for the part, but she is tall. She's stern. In certain roles, she has that headmistress or deputy headmistress air about her. I think she could be quite a good McGonagall. This is problematic. Oh, this is problematic I like
on
the actor.
So many levels.
I generally like the actor, right?
So,
I think he, I liked him in Lazarus Project. I genuinely like this actor, and I liked him in the things that I've seen him in, right? But he's not Snape.
No,
and
he's not Snape.
I don't like the reason that they're casting him for Snape. They'll tell you a load of... Right now, whatever reason they give, it's bullshit, right? Because if you know the history of Snape, if you know Snape's upbringing and his background, it's problematic if you change his race. And that's exactly why they've done it. They are, instead of talking about mudbloods and things like that in the magical world, which is what we should be talking about, especially if you're staying true to the book, we're going to talk about real world racism because we have to have modern audiences.
It's casting him a certain line takes on a whole new dimension. That's Professor Snape. He's interested in the dark arts job. That sounds really fucking problematic now. Look, I think that his casting, I'm going to get shot down for this. It's racist. The casting of him is racist. Yeah.
And these people are too thick to do it. I mean, they said they were going to stay, they were going to do a faithful adaptation of the book. A faithful adaptation of the book does not put modern day politics into this. The politics of the Harry Potter world was about mudblood. Yes, okay, that was a form of racism. But here's the thing. They didn't care about the colour of your skin. They cared about whether you were wizarding blood or not. Right, was quite an interesting take. It was quite a nice thing for kids because it wasn't real world, and kids could still understand a little bit about it. That's why J.K. Rowling kind of did it, right? But Snape has a really problematic upbringing. If you make him, no offense, black, right? And if you're going to stay faithful to the book, there's going to be a bunch of prats on the internet that can go racist. As Gareth says, oh, he's interested in the dark arts. Racist. Oh no, we're not racist. We're discussing racism here. Why have you done this? I mean, this actor is naive. I like the actor a lot, but he's naive if he thinks that this... I know what they've done. They've sold him a line that you're going to be part of the biggest TV series. I'm going to say this right now. This is not getting to the end.
Oh, he was probably given a massive fucking paycheck. It's like the lady who played Echo, yeah? Echo was shit. But she got paid at least $1 million for that TV series, and fucking good on her for that. Yeah? If Disney was stupid enough to throw away their money, take it. Yeah? And if Warner Brothers now... are stupid enough to do this, and it's going to fail. First, it'll be fail. Second season. It'll get to the second book,
and they'll blame the fans. They call the fans racism. Oh, it's because we cast the black. This is what they'll do, right?
Yeah.
This is what they'll do. They'll blame you for not watching it because I guarantee it that by the second or third season, it's going to lose a massive amount of audience because people are going to realise it's not faithful to the books. They have no intention of being faithful to the books.
You're now going to paint. James and Sirius Black as being racist for picking on him. And
so now we're going to have Harry's dad. Yeah, I mean, that's what it'll be. Harry's dad's been accused of being a racist. We're going to pick on a poor black boy.
And then there's
so unbelievably problematic.
Then there's the relationship with him and Lily Potter. That becomes problematic. Oh, fuck me sideways. This is just.
I mean, Gareth, if they'd done this in the 1990s, probably nobody would have thought about it, right? But because they've done it at this point in time, and it is utterly deliberate, it's not because he's the best person for the role. It's not. You have done this on purpose. You're dishonest about it, and you've ruined it. You've ruined it, and you're going to call me a racist for saying that. It has nothing to do with it. It's knowing what the character is. It's knowing the character's background. You change the entire dynamic of the story. You said you were going to be faithful to the book. We didn't say that. You said that. We are making a faithful adaptation of the book. This is not faithful. Because, as Gareth pointed out, it's going to turn... People are now going to accuse James Potter and Sirius Black of being being racist because they're picking on a small poor black boy. And then, Lily as well. Lily's Mumblebee. So what we're going to get is, Harry, instead of thinking his dad was a bit of a dick...
It's right.
Oh, my dad was racist. My dad was like Voldemort. Oh, he doesn't like... My dad's a racist. That's what it's going to be.
Do you know the worst thing is? I prefer the guy who plays Elliot Carter in Gangs of London, who was also in Slow Horses, to that actor. I wouldn't even picked him if I wanted to pick a black Snape. Oh, that. But then again, he's gonna get a fucking great payday out of that. So.
Well, he is, but only for the first season or two. This isn't getting to seasons. This isn't doing. It's not going to the end.
It's not going to the end. No.
Because people really will. You are messing with some serious fans here.
Do you know what's really annoying? I've just thought of the perfect person to play Mad Eye Moody. Cole Meany from Star Trek.
Yes.
He'd be a great Mad Eye Moody.
Yes.
Oh, that's fucking annoying. I was watching Voyager. I watched an episode of Voyager today, and I was just thinking about Deep Space Nine and whatnot. Shit. Anyway, this thing is doomed. This is a massive fight. This is going to damage just Harry Potter in general.
Yep.
I don't get it. It's like,
I've been saying this since day one that they are deliberately doing this to change the characters of James and Sirius, making him black especially in this current age is entirely on purpose, and they're not being honest about it. And I swear to God, we're not going to have a ginger Ron. They're going to do away with that as well.
Oh no!
And it's going to. You think
the two characters that would be problematic to change is Snape and Hermione.
Oh well, they're going to change.
They're the worst ones to change. Then Hermione's... you've got Ron at number 3. There, that's the next one. And the worst thing is, I'm worried that they're going to lean into the Dumbledore is gay. So instead of being like that thing, like when you were a kid, when you went to school and you got out of school, and a couple of years later that you found out the geography teacher's gay, or something along those lines.
Oh, yeah, because
that whole thing with what do you call it, Dumbledore, from my upbringing, made a bit more sense. Yeah, because it was a case of, oh my God, they're gay, I never knew, and that was like that for that, and it was.
But you never see it in the books. Rowling says it afterwards, but you never see it in the books, and the film, and that was partly why people got so annoyed with the book. With the it's hinted at in book 7, but you never. It's only hinted at, but they'll go full blown into it. They will. They're not making a faithful adaptation, and we knew this the minute this guy was floated around, because it literally changes as I said, I'm going to say it again, it changes the dynamic of the entire story.
And Keith, this is the thing, and this is the thing that's going to really fucking grate you, yeah? It makes Voldemort look better. It's supposed to be fucking Wizard Hitler. Yeah? Wizard Hitler accepts you. Yeah? Because Wizard Hitler knows. And they've done that thing where they can't understand how good guys and bad guys work. J.K. Rowling's been radio silent on this, hasn't she? She hasn't said anything. I've not seen or heard anything anywhere from her. So
now, I saw some website saying he was confirmed, but this was off the Radio Times today. And it's also a recent story because it's also talking about the McGonagall casting. I mean, I think the McGonagall and Dumbledore casting are probably quite good. I think this casting is one of the most problematic castings there is. He could have been a lot of other people. He could have been Kingsley Shacklebolt. He actually might have been quite good as Kingsley. He could have been many, many roles. And I would have liked him in those roles. And Kingsley Shacklebolt is a dark-skinned man. There are numerous other characters he could have played within it. There are numerous other characters that you could be played by anybody of any
Keith,
kind of race without it being problematic.
Keith, I'm going to say it now, all right? Peter Dinklage for Hagrid. They're going to fucking do it. They're going to do some stupid shit like this.
Facially,
he works, yes.
He works.
Yeah, and if you scale him up, he looks like he's got gigantism. But the worst thing is that's actually sensible casting, even though I'm saying it. But they wouldn't do. They still keep him short because they're fucking idiots.
But I mean, look, I think this is true, and therefore I think it's doomed before it gets out the gate. But let's see what else. Let's see what else we get from the casting. But it is right casting somebody in this particular character when this particular character was clearly written as a white man.
Yeah.
For numerous reasons, it, as I said, it changes so many other characters. It doesn't just affect this character. It's not like, casting Cornelius Fudge as a black guy or somebody like that, which actually you could probably get away with, right?
Because it's Don Warrington. Don Warrington would work.
But it's not that. You are casting somebody that was bullied, is poor, and there are numerous other things there that just that change the whole dynamic of the story.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like that Sirius Black and James are going to be. They picked on him because he was a snivelling little git, right? That they didn't like him right from the offset. It had nothing to do with the colour of his skin. He was just an arse. He was into dark arts and dodgy things like that, and that's why they picked on him, right? But the trouble is when you see two rich white kids from like noble families picking on a poor black boy, people are going to see what they're going to see in this day and age. Yeah. And it's a problem. And it changes the whole story. It does. And I'll tell you what, right? People accused Star Wars fans of being the most toxic fans. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, you have no idea. Oh, you're in for a... Because trust me, there are a lot more Harry Potter fans out there.
Okay, let's move on to our next one.
Well.
Pierce Brosnan, who portrayed James Bond from 1995 to 2002, has recently addressed the possibility of returning to his iconic role. In an interview with GQ, Brosnan expressed that while he acknowledges the romantic appeal of reprising 007, he believes it's time for some fresh blood to take on the character. Brosnan has so he's made those recent comments, and there is the transition for everything going on. Are they going to hint at the fact that James Bond is a legend that spies adopt rather than an actual person? If that makes any sense? Because there's always the rumour that James Bond is a legend, yeah? And you know what I mean by legend, don't you? It's a fictional version of someone that they got a background and all this other stuff. If they do it like that, because that's one way that you could do it, because that way you could sit there and say, yes, all the Bonds all existed at all the times and did everything, and then they died, and then were replaced. So you could do that. But
in one way, it might be interesting to see a retired Bond come out of retirement for one last mission, and who better to pick than who is disgustingly healthy, and still quite a handsome man, Pierce Brosnan. I mean, I'd pick him immediately if I was going to do an old man Bond thing. But you've got to do it as a hero, not in. Don't you fucking dare Indiana Jones this, right? He has got to come out of retirement and kick ass, and still be a suave guy, and still knob a much younger woman.
What do you call it? That you could also have John Cleese also come out of retirement too.
Exactly.
They could do the two of them, and it's just like, M's gone. Yeah, I know. Got the new one. Don't like him. Something along those lines. A Dark Knight Returns James Bond, and if you do it, and if you really, really want to do it, you'd have to kill him at the end. You'd have to have it be a fucking noble sacrifice.
Here's the thing, right? I actually think a new James Bond, M should be a woman again, but you need to find somebody of Judi Dench's kind of presence to do it. Because I mean, Judi Dench's M was brilliant. I mean, and I actually think she was really good in the Pierce Brosnan era. I mean, was it GoldenEye or Tomorrow Never Dies? Tomorrow Never Dies when she
great. No, GoldenEye, where she first introduces herself.
Yeah.
Because you think I'm a cold, hard bitch who thinks more about the numbers than the thing. He goes, and that's kind of great the way she kind of introduces herself.
But she comes up against her on-screen husband from a comedy show as an admiral, and she turns around and she goes, "You don't think I've got the balls for this job?" It's just a great fucking line. I actually think if you're going to do a modern Bond, having M as a woman, one, makes sense. Two, there is a precedent for it because we've had several female heads of real MI6 and MI5. So that's a way to do it. But you still have to keep James Bond as a male. And it has to be handsome. And, he has to be single. Because that's James Bond. And there's a reason, as Gareth said. And that was, the real reason that Ian Fleming had him like that was because he was expected to die.
Yes.
So, he got his fun and enjoyment out of life because he wasn't expected to live long. And he kind of reverted to basic male instincts.
Well, might as well. I'll have another martini. I'll have another one.
But there are in some ways I would like to...
Hang on, Keith. The worst thing they can do with him is they can Thor him. Yeah? And you've got like a fat, balding James Bond. That's the worst thing they could do with him.
I know that Pierce Brosnan would say no to that. Pierce Brosnan will only come back as if he gets to play Bond. Right? And an old man Bond with Pierce Brosnan could work. But it has to be in that same vein of Bond from his era. It can't be like that Michael what's his face? Michael Caine movie where he plays a Harry Slater and it's a bit, he lives on that housing estate and he's
or The Rock.
It could be a bit like that.
Right. This is what I think they should do. They should sit there and say, Bond is a legend, yeah? As in, it's this fake ID that everyone adopts, yeah? There are only 2 surviving Bonds, yeah? We're going to go after what we think's the best one, so get Pierce Brosnan. And then if you really, really want, get towards the end, Timothy Dalton turns up and saves his ass. And it turns around, and you could have it. And then for the last quarter of the film or TV series, you can have the 2 of them together because that'd be fucking awesome. If we're gonna go down that path, that's what I want. It's stupid, horrible fluff, but I'd enjoy that.
But some of the Bond movies were fast food movies, but that was part of their appeal. They are popcorn flicks, male fantasy films, and James Bond is a male brand, and you can't change that. Just like making Star Wars into a female brand hasn't worked for you. Doing the same with Marvel for the last few years hasn't worked for you. Right? You need to create new female brands, right? I mean, and Bond and Star Wars are not them. But we'll see what they do. But Pierce Brosnan coming back as an old man Bond, yeah, and actually see him on screen with Dalton, that could be funny. That could work.
That would be great.
That would be quite good.
But as I said before, it's James Bond is the legend. It's not the person who it is. It's the fake identity they all assumed as they went through it. And he goes, well, the last one died. He goes, well, he's a fucking idiot then, isn't he? Because the other two kind of, what you call it, cucks it of like old age. Yeah, like you're supposed to. Yeah. He goes, you know, and you could just have a conversation. He goes, all the other 00 agents all fucking die young. It's only us, the Sevens, that seem to make it. It's lucky number 7 or something along those lines. It would be absolutely fantastic. Two old guys, yeah, and then you could do the thing at the end where it's like some woman looks like they're eyeing up one of the two of them, and it's not one of the two of them, it's a bloke behind them, and you could just have them go, I miss the old days. But hey, it's I'm just playing. Yeah, it's.
No, you're playing devil's advocate, but I mean, it was an interesting interview with him. And the fact that he almost wants to play the part again, I like that. But then I always have kind of liked Pierce Brosnan. I mean, he's in that. He's going to be in that thing, some mafia thing with Venom geezer actor. Oh, why is my brain? Tom Hardy. And
Venom geezer.
And Helen Mirren playing alongside Helen Mirren. It's going to be wonderful. I mean, again, I kind of like Helen Mirren as well. Helen Mirren as M. That would be. There you go.
That would work.
That would work.
That would work. I will give you that. Helen Mirren as M. Jim Broadbent as M. He would be he'd be like this elderly statesman where it's like kind of they've employed someone who's like a career politician and shouldn't really be in the job. That would make an interesting take on M.
Actually, he could also be quite good as Q, but that's another matter. Right, what's next? Have we got more news stories, or are we into the comments?
No, we're into the comments. So let me get the music up. I think where is it? Da da da. So let me press play. Press play. Is it moving? No, it's not moving. There we go. It's comments time. Lovely people at home. So, Mrs. was in here first, so she gets a gold star. Followed by Biffa.
Nothing to do with inside knowledge.
Nothing to do with it. Are you doing your podcast now? Yes. And Chuck gets bronze. So, Biffa beat me. Damn, it doesn't count. We're getting arguments over there. But yeah.
Fighting words.
Go hi from Laurie. Keith, look at the camera and go,
hey, Laurie.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Laurie.
And then we were talking about Gene Hackman. We got an RIP Lex. So we got that there. We got, yeah, he does have insight. He does have it. Biffa said he survived watching Daredevil. I have some issues with Daredevil. We'll get there when we get there. And yes, insider, yes. So. Be a stupid gamer is lurking. So yeah, he's also trying to get some more peeps in here. Thank you very much, really appreciate it. You don't have to do
buddy.
That. We're on catch up, not iPlayer or Amazon or whatever, but we're on catch up. We're on Spotify. Can't say I ever found James Bond particularly attractive. 006. Alex, on the other hand. Oh, hang on, sorry. Got to. My reply to that is easy. That's my reply to that. I love the music when it kept going. Brilliant. I've just lost the comments. I got so excited about what's a mush. I lost thingies. Everyone seems to have just dropped off and then come back. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Bye. I don't know if the connection's gone weird, but hey. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Let's do Daredevil first, because I'm interested in, because I think your opinion might slightly change when you watch the second episode.
Okay.
I will say the fight at the end of the second episode was fucking insane. I'm going to make one call now, because you've seen the first episode. This is not a spoiler. And also because I know that they've been cast in the second season, right? So I know, right? Foggy will be the last shot of this season. And he ain't dead.
Yeah, well, I'll figure that out.
I quite enjoyed Daredevil. They are taking him out the suit again, but that whole scene in the diner with him and Fisk was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
What's your issues with it?
Right, so my first issue is, if you watch it from season 3 to this episode, there's a big fucking glaring hole, and it's throwing Bullseye off of the building.
Yeah, but
Bullseye
had the surgery thing that made him kind of stuff at the end of season 3.
But didn't what do you call it? But Daredevil didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Daredevil killed him, and that's why he quit.
Well, he thought he killed him.
Yeah.
But initially, but that's the bit that gets me. He goes through all of the rigmarole of season 3, where Kingpin has fucked with him something chronic, only for him to then throw Bullseye off of a roof a couple of weeks later.
But that's because he kills, or what he thinks is kills, his best friend Foggy. I would have done that to me completely worked. I understood why he did it, and I knew that this was going to happen, because when I saw that line in the thing, I went over the line. Well, the only way he goes over the line is if Karen Page or Foggy gets killed, and then he just goes, he loses all control and gives in to the devil, which is exactly what he did. Right? It totally worked for me. That he lost it there because he heard Foggy's heartbeat stop, and
Keith, go back and watch the end, and then because he's
it's a 5-year jump.
But there's a what do you call it? There's a Batman doesn't kill thing going on with him, if that makes any sense. Yeah, because it's like it's a sin for him. Yeah.
He always sailed close to the line, and he sailed close to the line with Fisk on more than one occasion. And yes, okay, in season 3, he is taken to the point, but at no time does Foggy or Karen get killed. And when somebody that close to you gets killed, it's not the same. Okay. It's not the same. For me, that didn't feel out of character. For me, that didn't feel out of character. I knew he was going to throw it the minute Foggy supposedly died there. I thought, Bullseye's in for it, and he threw him off. Yeah. Okay. When it's not like he threw him off, he kind of let go of him.
Kind of looked like he lobbed him off the building, CGI wise.
Yeah, the CGI was a bit dodgy. Although, kind of cool seeing Daredevil doing that shit, because that's what he does in the comics, and that was kind of cool seeing him as Daredevil, being Daredevil. Was it the best supposed one shot? No, it wasn't. But actually, was it as good as season 2 of Daredevil? No. Is it the best thing that Disney Marvel has done so far? Well, the first 2 episodes, yes. I mean, that scene between him and Fisk in the diner felt like old school, and it was good.
So that's the next one. Vanessa Fisk.
Well, I'm glad they didn't recast her, because if they recast her as was an annoying actress, so I'm glad they got the original actress back.
Art dealer turned into crime kingpin doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That just made me just go, what's going on here? That bothered me a bit, because it was like kind of, if it was the case, if it was that Wilson Fisk was still running the show, and she was his mouthpiece, that would work. Don't like the idea that she was disloyal to him. That doesn't make any sense, because you got the feeling that she was proper ride or die with him, considering all the shit that he done. Yeah,
I agree.
All the murders and bits that he could, and she always got that sense, ride or die, but not. That bothers me, because they girl bossed her.
Yep, I agree with you there. I totally agree with you there. But again, I go back to it's still better than a lot of people give it credit for. Episode 2 is better. The thing that I was going to have a problem with, right, which I mean, the fact that Fisk mentions Spider-Man is kind of cool. In his mayor running, and he's talking about vigilantes, and he talks about man dressed up as a spider. That was cool. And it plays into the fact that no one remembers Spider-Man, which was cool. It also gives us the hope that we might go.
Did you like the very nice sniper echo in
yes
thingy? Oh yeah, apparently because your protege shot you in the face. He goes, yeah, what can you do? It's like kind of, clearly she couldn't fucking do the job, and we're not going to talk about it any further. I liked that, because it was just like kind of, no, it's stupid. It was stupid.
This is not a spoiler. Obviously you saw White Tiger in one of the videos in episode 1, right? In episode 2, Matt mentions that the guy doesn't wear his mystical amulet, and he says mystical amulet, hinting that the amulet gives him powers. Because it's kind of like, if this is going to be full on in the MCU, because Netflix kind of ignored some things in the MCU, right? If this is going to be full on in the MCU, and you're going to keep it at the street level, right? You still have to, you have to sort of mention that the world has got aliens in it. It's got that everybody knows about it. So having the mystical amulet mentioned was cool. I really the second episode in many ways is better.
Yeah.
But I don't like the marriage counselling between Vanessa and Thing. I'm not ruining much.
No, that's the bit, because I always just got the sense that she just stick by him through thick and thin, and that's one of the things that he liked. He liked that loyalty. He really liked that loyalty.
I don't think Foggy is dead.
No, he's not dead.
Punisher's going to turn up in the next episode, I think.
And my worry with the Punisher is they're going to start, because they tried to change the Punisher symbol, because the police started adopting the Punisher symbol. Gangs also adopted the Punisher symbol too, but there's nothing wrong with the gangs adopting the Punisher symbols, even though they're committing crimes. It's the police that are the problem, and it's just like they're going to try and do something with that, which I'm deeply, deeply concerned about. And I've got just this, what do you call it, this feeling of they're going to screw the pooch. Yeah.
I know that Chris Gore has seen the whole lot, and he has said that I don't think it completely screws the pooch. They are making a season 2. It's already in production and it's already shooting. The guy that plays Foggy is coming back, so I'm gonna, as I said, the last scene of season 1 will be Foggy, and that's the cliffhanger. That's what we get. I'm calling it now. Yeah. And I knew it was going to be Foggy they killed, because I knew they weren't going to kill Karen Page. I didn't like how Karen kind of wouldn't talk to him. afterwards, and that didn't work. The thing was, right, they were going to make a different version of Daredevil, right? And then, thank God, the writer's strike happened, because who they'd recast Vanessa Fisk. I never really liked that actress, and she was not Vanessa Fisk. I am glad that we've got all the people back, but they've still screwed up Vanessa Fisk. But we also got there's some really good things in it, and as I said, the first episode, that chat between him and Fisk is awesome. Yeah. There's so much tension there, and there's like they're both threatening each other. It's like, you know, they're both trying to one up each other. It's like, you know, if you do this, I'm going to fuck you up, and then like Kingpin's like, well, if you do this, I'm going to fuck you up. It's like, it's a bit of a stalemate at the moment here, because they can both fuck each other up. Yeah. And that whole back and forth between them was great. And I enjoyed that. I like the fact that this is a bit shorter, so things happen faster, which I kind of like. You better have the bloody Daredevil suit back on halfway through. I like the fact that actually this has got a bit more swearing in it. I like the fact that it's R-rated. I can't talk about the fight at the end because you haven't seen it, but I kind of cheered. Really fucking just like I watched it several times. I mean, there's a bit, okay, I can't really remember, but there is a bit where he literally fucking drops this guy on his head. And you're like, yes! I mean, he's fucking dead, but fuck me, it was good. I mean, it was brutal. Fucking full-on brutal fight scene. But it was coming. I mean, it was coming. And when it does, it was like, I don't know. They might screw the pooch, Gareth, but I did enjoy the second episode more than I enjoyed the first one, except the Fisk scene in the first episode is really good. But the second episode in many ways is better.
Okay.
And more of him being... Go on. Sorry.
I'm when the Punisher shows up, how they deal with the Punisher.
Yeah.
Big concern. And that's the bit that's going to bother me, because if they all of a sudden, if there's talk about removing the Punisher symbol, this, that, and the other, I think it's going to go to shit. I really do.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's because Kevin Feige's put his name against it.
Yeah,
which means it's going to be shit.
That's the way these things are. It wasn't shit so far. So far.
It's just, you know, it's like I've watched so many of these things, and it's like kind of, if you turn around and said we got Drew Goddard and all the guys back from the Netflix series, and they were doing it, I wouldn't think twice.
They did get a lot of the Netflix guys back,
but not Drew Goddard.
I agree with. Yeah, but see,
Steve Knight.
The Netflix series weren't perfect.
No,
I mean, the Daredevils was the best out of all of them. But they weren't perfect. In fact, at times they were not good at all, right? And they had good elements, but they weren't perfect. The best was Daredevil. I still think season 2 of Daredevil peaked. I think Daredevil season 3 was good, but it was way too long for the story that they were trying to tell. It could have been condensed, and it had a lot of filler in it. But there were great moments in season 3. But he spent far too much time not being Daredevil. Right, and that was down to budgetary reasons. So why do you do 13 episodes? It was back when Netflix didn't really know what they were doing. And I think we look back on those with rose-tinted glasses. Go and watch them again, because I watched most of it recently. And you're right, season 3 was way better than I remember it being, but it's way too long for the story that they're trying to tell. And it wasn't perfect. Right now... Yeah, there are problems in this, but it's still the best thing that Disney has done for a long time.
That's not hard. That isn't hard.
I like
Come
the
on,
fact.
Keith.
Yes, but I mean, again, watching the reactions of the fandom menace, and I agree with everything they've said. Really, I mean, Gary was very complimentary about it, although said some similar things to you. Vanessa Fisk being one of his biggest issues with it. I agree with him at the moment. It's good. At the moment, it's watchable. It's entertaining. And the next episode was good. Is it better than the original? No. Can it be? Maybe. Should it be? They bloody well better do.
I haven't got to watch that. I've got to watch that second episode, but I'm going to wait to see what they do with the Punisher. If all of a sudden they bring up the fact that his symbol has become a problematic thing, blah blah blah, done.
Yeah.
I've seen so much shit. I'll be done with it there and then. Because I think my gut tells me that's where it's bloody leading, and I don't like that.
Right. I think we should talk about Reacher, then or do we do Severance, then Reacher, then Paradise? We've got to go. Paradise is the end.
Okay. Really desperate to talk about it.
I am as well, but I want to talk about. I want to get these.
All right, let's do Severance, because Severance is a lot easier. So this week we got to follow. I can't remember her name. Cobell. I can't remember her first name, and she goes back to her place, Cold Harbour, which you find out that Cold Harbour was a town run by Kia, and they had a factory there, and she was an employee there, and she had a tenuous relationship with a mother who died, which we know from previous episodes. And the whole town is hopped up on sniffing some kind of ether, which they've been doing since they were like 8 years old. So it sounds like they've had child drug issues. And I wouldn't imagine if they didn't have child employees working there too. And then it turns out that she's responsible for the whole Severance program. She's responsible for the chip. She created all the things like the Glasgow box, this, that, the other, the separation, everything. So we found that out, and it was 36 minutes. Was it 36 minutes, or did I imagine it?
No, it's quite a bit longer, I think.
It was really short. It felt really cold, really empty, very bleak, very desolate. So whatever Cold Harbour is, I think it's got something to do with death.
I think you're right.
I think what they're trying to do is they're going to try and sever someone at point of death, so they can keep a copy of them.
I think they're trying to bring. I think this is playing on Scientology, playing on numerous things. I think it's a cult-like company, right? And I think they're trying to bring Kia back. And I think what they're doing is severing somebody to kind of wipe that section of them and bring Kia back. I think it has something to do with death and resurrection. Because they keep banging on about Kia being the light and everything, which is very cult-like and very... Yeah. You know, and the parts of it that they're kind of like hinting at, like Scientology kind of stuff, like Milkcheck's almost like this disillusioned Scientologist. We've got 2 episodes left. They have purposefully not focused on Mark at all, really. I mean, okay, it was Gemma's episode, the previous one, and then this one. I still maintain it's moving at an incredibly slow rate. But actually finally finding out who Cobell was and the fact that she invented Severance, well, that changes things a little bit. But who the fuck is the board? Why is she so scared of the board? Is the board a human? I don't think it is. I think it's either some kind of computer or simulation, or I don't know. She looked pretty fucking scared when she ran away. So I don't know. Or is the board like Kia in a supercomputer? If they somehow transferred Kia into some kind of supercomputer and now he wants a body, is it that? I don't know is the thing. But we better get some more fucking answers by the end of this season, because you know, the big revelation of this entire season is this. And the fact that you can have multiple Severance personalities. That's it. We actually got quite a bit more in season 1. So that we these next 2 episodes, they've got to move at a faster pace and reveal some shit. But the fact that Cobell knows about Mark now, the ending of that episode was kind of good, and it did feel like the pace had changed. It did feel like, oh, we're moving now. We're going. We're going. The engine's going now, right? The car's moving forward. We're getting some momentum here. But we felt like that at the end of that, the retreat episode, only to then hit a brick wall. So
I wouldn't say you hit a brick wall. It didn't carry on that momentum, I think, is the best way of describing it.
It turned off the motorway into a traffic jam is what it felt like.
Yeah, I suppose so. But it needs to give you something really fucking solid at the end of the series. Otherwise, it's a failure. That makes any sense. I mean, something completely, you know, everything. Because it's like kind of, you've had some answers, but it's taken us two seasons and God knows how many years to get there. Unlike another TV series that we're going to talk about, which managed to do it in one series and a really fucking good job.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about it in a minute.
okay.
But Severance.
Oh, go.
We're going to talk about Reacher before we do Paradise. I know you're desperate to talk about it.
I
want to talk about it too. I'm saving it up because it's the best TV series in the world. But
Best
Reacher
of
was
this
good
year.
this week.
Yeah, Reacher was good this week.
I'm telling you one thing now, right? Paulie is going to get fucked up, but it isn't going to be till the final episode, right? But Reacher's going to fuck him up. It's probably going to have to get like metal fists to do it, right?
Yeah.
But Paulie's going to get fucked up, and Paulie deserves to get fucked up. I knew that French bird was.
Everyone knew something was up with the French bird, but we didn't know what was up with the French bird.
Yeah.
So yes, you're absolutely right. Everyone was like, something talented. Even talent's like, there's something up with her, and I'm like, yeah, there is something up with her.
I mean, I couldn't watch the bit where the poor incompetent agent dies. That was brutal.
That was brutal.
That was brutal. And I think actually the guy that did that to him shouldn't have had a bullet through the head. He should have had a far nastier, more grisly death. A bullet through a head was too good for him, really. But I mean, they do get the comeback, but it was. I enjoyed it. I liked the bit with the car when they're trying to overturn the car. That was funny. I like the fact that she's not girl bossy, that she is vulnerable, and you see that vulnerability, and she relies on people around her. It makes her likable. It makes her human. She's not infallible. I'm actually really enjoying this season of Reacher. I genuinely am.
It is weird because it's like kind of they almost got caught out on the laptop. Reacher almost got caught out with a badge. So the fact that they found the French bird, that they didn't find the badge, which is kind of because Watson was dropped it in the warehouse during a firefight. You've got the scumbag guy who's blatantly going to get thrown down that hole. They were talking about that weird like rock formation. It acts like a giant toilet and just grabs the things and sucks it out to sea. He's going down there. They've set him up for that. That's his ending there. It's like Robert Patrick in the previous season with the helicopter. He's going out the helicopter. So he's going down the thingy there. It's still haven't properly seen what's his name? Quinn something? The guy who should have killed?
No, we haven't seen him, but he's there in the factory. We're going to see him next week, aren't we? But the convenient thing is they said he's got amnesia, so which I found convenient. So I found that convenient. So we'll see him next week, which will be cool, and then we'll go from there.
We don't know if the thing is it'll be a case of does he remember, then does he remember a little bit later, you know, that sort of thing where it's like kind of I didn't recognize you at first will probably be how the conversation starts.
We've got 3 episodes left. What I love about this season of Reacher is you never thought they were going to kill Reacher in any of the previous seasons, right? You never felt that Reacher was, you know, when Reacher went into that factory on his own in the first one, right? He was so much more tough than any of those little bitches, right? And it was like the son that, you know, was a bit of a psychotic. At no time was he ever going to kill Reacher. I mean, Reacher was always going to just fucking one punch him and knock him out for thing. And like Robert Patrick was no goddamn match for Reacher. Even if he had that great big metal bar and have Reacher hanging up, he was never going to break Reacher's fucking knee. I mean, the guy, this time, Paulie fucking hurt him, right? And in a
yeah,
roundabout way, I like that because you feel a sense, okay, Reacher might not, he's going to survive it, but you get that
sense of danger,
yeah,
consequence, something could happen.
And I like that about this season. I'm genuinely enjoying Reacher. There are great moments in it. The dad is not all bad. He's gonna die, but he's not all bad. I think he does care about his son.
Yeah, yeah. He's gonna die like a decent death, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I have a feeling, right, because I know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to call it now. In the next episode, we're going to see that girl that she's been after, and that's going to stop Reacher from killing Quinn. Because you see him reaching for his gun, and Quinn's about to appear, right? And yet, what's going to stop Reacher from killing Quinn? Well, it's going to have to be something, right? And it's going to be the girl. I reckon she's still alive. I don't think Paulie's killed her. They made too much of it in the episode where they were going, oh, she's dead. She's dead. Like they've been saying this to the point where, no, she's not dead. So yes. I know what you want to talk about. Let's talk about it. I nearly texted you. I nearly messaged you saying it stuck the landing, but then I thought, nah.
It did. So that's the first thing. It stuck the landing. We got such a fucking satisfying, and it was done like a proper murder mystery ending, too, where it's obvious when you look back, which is great. I love that.
Do you know the bit? I mean, I was watching it again today, and the flashback where Xavier and his kids turn up. Right, and you see them at the gate for the first time, and everybody's panicking. In the background is the librarian losing his shit, and I went, "Oh my god!" They knew they planned. The thing that I think why Paradise is so good is this guy knows how to write people, because at the heart of it, at the heart of Paradise, it's so human. And this episode struck me. There is only... I mean, what did you think? Because there's one potential problem, but... What did you do?
So, I like the... Right, so we got the start off, yeah? And you saw the construction of the hole where they were going to put the city. So, had the construction there, and then you get the thing where he's had a relationship with one of his co-workers, and then they figure out that if you keep digging this hole, it's going to be carcinogenic. It's going to kill the what do you call it? Going to kill the workers and whatnot, and they don't care. And he gets annoyed, and because he gets annoyed, gets a gun, tries killing the president, which we saw right at the beginning, and then gets thrown in a jail in Colorado. And then the world goes to shit, and because the world has gone to shit, he has the opportunity to escape. And because he's at a prison thing, there's plenty of prison or copper uniforms for him to steal. And it's just like, it makes so much sense. It's so good. Because you get him, and as Sinatra said at the end of the last episode, they were killed by someone from outside because they're not inside the system. And that's absolutely true. Did not fucking lie. Absolutely meant to. No one. The question was, were they there all along, or did they find some way of sneaking in? Yeah. And it turned out, Matey found some way of sneaking in along with everyone else. So it all kind of got pushed into the thingy. The code being the Dewey Decimal System. Given the use of CDs, I remember when we were using CDs and burning this, that, and the other, and we were having to go to the library and having to note what the bloody Dewey Decimal System was there so we could get all our appropriate books and whatnot. I like that. And then it's just, you go through it and it just reveals what happened, and you see his side of it. So you get to see how he gets upset, how he gets in there, how he then gets comfortable, and then he forgets to murder the president because he's actually quite comfortable in there living a normal life. And then you then get to see the president before he gets killed, and it is fucking tragic. Yeah, he, right, as president, did nothing wrong. He really genuinely, he didn't do nothing wrong, but everyone hated for him. They all had the reasons to not like him. Yeah, and he did nothing wrong. And you see his day, the day that he gets murdered. Yeah, his dad's told him he's a piece of shit. His son's not turning up for a thingy. His lover's kind of rejected him. Yeah, Xavier's pissed off at him. Yeah, and he's found out that Sinatra and that aren't very, very nice people. So he's decided to take a stand against them, and then he gets murdered. And it plays the what I lovingly refer to as the off-brand pop of Paradise by Phil Collins. And it's just really tragic. It's so tragic. It makes that death seem so much worse now when you get to see everything that built up to it.
But the thing that struck me is it's so human. And the more I watch this, and it is very rewatchable, the more that this guy just understands human beings. And at no point does it feel... There's no MacGuffins in this. There's no... At its very basic level, it's human. It is brilliantly written. And it is one of the best written TV shows I've seen in a long time. It's not just one of the best TV shows of the year. It's one of the best TV shows of the decade. And it is brilliantly written. It's twisty and it's turny, but those twists are earned. You get the answers. And what's so great about this, you know damn well he's plotted this all out, right? And I love the fact, because I told you, I'm worried that if this gets a second season, you know, it's gonna go stale, but it's not, because he's now come out and said 3 seasons planned, right? And you know what's gonna happen, because now it goes, each season's gonna change slightly. Season two is going to be out there. It's going to be, you know, the change will be that everything will feel a bit more like End of the Worldy, right? So it's going to be a bit, and season 3 will be about survival, rebuilding, and I can. It's going to be twisty. It's going to be turny. It's going to be all sorts of shit, but it's going in that direction. Casting that, you know, what's his face as Cal. That's my favorite part he's ever played, because again, because of the way it's written, because of his acting, his death is tragic, and you feel it, and it's brilliant. And it's just it's one of the best things I've seen in years. It genuinely is. It nailed the landing, and I mean, you know, episode 7 has been held as one of the best episodes of television of all time. And the more I watch it, the more I agree. You were never going to follow that up in episode 8. So what do? You pull the rug back. You reveal something, but then you leave something dangling at the end, and that dangling at the end was bloody great. You see, I think Billy's death was just as tragic. And I felt Billy's death, and I feel Billy's death even more, and I feel Cal's death as well, because again, the way people were towards him was very human, right? He didn't deserve it, but you understood why. And episode 7 did that so brilliantly with them. It really did. And again, I was kind of on... Once you see that, whilst I know why Xavier feels that way, Cal did the right thing, yelling at him, going, look, there's 8 other people that want to get on that plane. Get on that fucking plane and take care of your kids. Be pissed at me, but you got 2 kids on that plane. Get on that fucking plane. And it natural. It felt...
And it made you like him.
Yeah.
It really made you like him as a character.
Oh, I
can't do anything
genuinely
about that. I think it was this realization with his son where he had the CD and he's playing back the CD and his son's like, kind of, I should have spent more time. And and the actor did quite a fairly good job conveying that. And it was just... Oh man, I love that. I want to go and watch it again. Part of me says like watch it again from the beginning and just push my way through
and
it.
do, because you'll see a lot of things. Like you see the librarian in the background. You know, when he fakes that wobbly to get into the thing, you see that.
The other thing too is I think we talked about, we had the weird focus on the woman in the diner. That paid off. Well done. I love it when that happens. It's really good when TV shoots has that payoff, because she snuck in with him. And I love the story that she had, that story where she's like, kind of done nothing with my life. You know, I'm going to die, this, that, and the other. And it's like, kind of, well, it's your lucky day. Seriously, it's your lucky day, because I need a wife. I've just murdered 2 people. That was his. Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
It just looking back and seeing it all, it was good. And then you've got Driscoll. Yeah, and Driscoll came across as a proper psychopath. I mean, like proper psychopath, because it was like, kind of, what was it? Can I have the wee? She's like, can I have the wee? And then she's like, I'll take care of the girl. No, don't you kill her. I'll take care of the girl. Can I have the wee? It's like, the president's not using it, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like she messages back, I've taken care of the girl. She didn't say she killed her or not. And at the end of it, she gets the wee because she just wanted the wee. She would have killed fucking everyone to get that thing. That's how much she's a psychopath. She's a narcissistic psychopath. That's going to be interesting dealing with her, because you can understand why she killed Billy so readily. Yeah, maybe she was.
I mean,
VHS.
That was a great fucking moment, because you've got Xavier with a gun, and it was like, well, if I was him, I'd pull the fucking trigger. Right?
Oh, yeah. I'm sitting there. I'm watching it going, pull the fucking trigger. Do it. Do it now. And then Wassamish comes in and she shoots her. But the bitch shoots her in a way so she can recover.
What? It's like, you're going shoot her, and she gets shot through the throat, which you are not suspecting, right? So it makes you jump and go, hang on, what the fuck just happened there? And then it cuts to her, and you're like, is she dead? And then she walks up to you, and she's like, you know, I need you alive. And then it's just like, knowing there's going to be a season 2, you're like, well, this is going to change shit up, isn't it? I don't know where they're going. I know some of what to expect from season 2. She needed to get shot, right? But actually, interestingly, I wonder what way they're going to go with her in season 2. She needed to get shot. She needed to get fucked up. She deserved that.
Yeah. That was one thing. It was. We were all watching that, going, she needs to get shot. She needs to get shot.
Yeah.
It's all right. I think our stream on YouTube just died.
Do we know? People in the comments. Are we dead?
Are we dead, Jim?
Is it dead, Jim? It's still saying we got 5 viewers. And no one's moaning.
No, it's always got a bit of latency on it. It's all right. It's all right. I've just the screen's kind of. Oh, that's good. Okay, it's all right. No, we did die for a sec. We did die briefly. According to this, I'll show you. I'll clip the picture and I'll show you after the stream. But according to this, we died. So I had said saying it was having issues. No, fantastic. Can't wait to see what the second series is. It's going to be split into what's happening in the bunker and what is happening outside. So we're going to get. We will probably see how the survivors survived and what they had to do when the cataclysm hit, and then what happened when the EMP hit too. And it's going to be you're going to get that episode 7, but from a different perspective.
You see, I think we're going to see, because they purposely show you Denver as being like in this nuclear winter, which is fine, but Denver is the only city that got hit in the US, right? Now we know other nukes dropped, so there is nuclear winters in some locations, but not everywhere. Like
Keith, it's the ash from the volcano.
Was it the? No, but there was snow as well. There was snow.
Yeah, but it's fucking Denver, Colorado, Keith.
Yes, but it got nuked.
That's your hint.
It got nuked, and you see the city totally destroyed. It got nuked because that was the nuke that goes off in episode 7. I mean, it was nuked.
modern nuclear weapons don't work that way. They wouldn't cause the nuclear winter.
Well, you're right. I had forgotten that Denver, Colorado, South Park, dude. Yeah, right.
That's
but
easiest way of
what I'm trying to
communicating.
say is that we're going to see some of the higher cities potentially quite intact, because they were saved by the EMP. So,
Yeah.
and I think there are other bunkers. I think we're going to find other bunkers out there. And I think there's other potential underground cities out there. I mean, the Russians, you'll probably find that the Russians have got one somewhere. It probably will not be as light and airy as the other one, because it's full of hardened Russians. We live for the winter, kind of thing. But I have full trust in him.
I wouldn't be surprised if you've got the Russians and the Chinese all at war with each other.
Well, they hinted. I mean, one of the things is 55 million at least alive, which and that was the continental US that they're aware about. So 55 million in the US alone, which kind of makes sense, because like the inland Americas are less densely populated. Sorry, Chuck, you were wiped out in this.
Yeah. Sorry, Chuck.
Yeah,
in Paradise, you bought it.
You bought it, mate. Sorry. But again, I'm looking forward to season 2, and the fact that he said you're not going to have to wait a long time. It's already in production. He has got 3 seasons planned, and if we get 3 seasons, that will work for me. You don't want to drag this out. This was 8 episodes of really, really good TV. And it's really rewatchable. You've got to watch it a few times to get everything out of it. I genuinely enjoyed this. So yeah, there you go.
It was really satisfying TV. Haven't watched TV like that since like 2012ish, I think. Okay, maybe The Expanse was it there, but outside
The Expanse was mostly satisfying. There were the problem is that it got fucked up because of what happened to the actor, and I think that's part of the problem. I am looking forward to The Expanse coming back, which will be interesting. I am looking forward to season 2 of this next year, which will be great. We don't have to wait so goddamn long. In fact, I think going on, the last time I was this satisfied with the ending, right, and this hasn't ended, was Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But this was like, I wanted to text you. I was on Tuesday. I was like, I can't root for it, but I want to tell him how much it nailed the landing. It's like it's fucking nailed the landing. It did. Good.
Yes.
It was so bloody good. I mean, I messaged my sister because I was talking to her about something else. And she was like, yeah, we are watching it. It's really good. What about Severance? It was just like, who the fuck who do you think you're talking to? Of course I'm watching bloody Severance. But no, for me, Paradise, best thing in a long time. And I genuinely, it does what it should do. It got me thinking. It provokes thought. It entertains. It makes you sad. It takes you on a journey. It surprises you. It pays off, and it leaves you satisfied, and it leaves you wanting more. And the great thing is we're getting more, and we don't have to wait for 3 years. There we go.
Good.
I want to watch Rollerball, but on the other hand, should we? Is it really shit?
I watched Rollerball, and where's my notes? Because I noticed a few things from it. It's weird because it's in 2002, but it feels very like mid-90s MTV sort of thing. This was the what do you call it? This was the film that killed John McTiernan. Was Rollerball. It was a remake of the 1975 one with, I know his bloody name. Who was the guy? I can picture him. but loads of things. Anyway, it was a remake of the 1975 one, which was much better film. Just watching the highlights from it. It's supposed to be set in a dystopian future. In the original story, it's a dystopian future, and the idea was that there's one corporation, I think it's the energy company, that ruled everything. But in this, it's not the case. In this version, it was kind of brought a bit more down to earth. And there's a escape sequence that's filmed in night vision, which not good. Apparently it was done, this night vision sequence looked really weird. Now when you watch like night vision clips from like reality TV shows, it looked like that. Apparently John McTiernan was forced to do that because he didn't give him a proper budget for lighting, which he was pissed at, which is understandable. You had a guy called Chris Klein who was in American Pie playing the lead part. I didn't feel it was so bad, but at the time, given the fact that American Pie kind of just happened, not the best of casting at the time. James Caan, that was the guy from the other one, much better. Apparently it was a lot more violent. There were a lot of tits in it. You would have loved. Volume of tits very high. Okay. So what do you call it? So you had John Reno from Leon, who was the bad guy in it, which is quite good. And you also had the guy from Lost in it too, was also a bad guy. I did like the ending. The ending was good. The ending felt like kind of like Gladiator. Like when all the gladiators decided not to have enough. Even the music kind of switched up to sound more like Roman epic than thingy. That was quite good. So yeah, it was. It wasn't, given the fact that I watched The Gorge recently. Is it The Gorge? The Hole, or whatever it is. And I've watched some other really terrible films. Yeah, it is in that category. It is that kind of direct to streaming, direct to DVD, direct to home release thing. It's not. It's John McTiernan's worst film. Full stop. Followed by Medicine Man. Okay. It's. There are some great cameos in it because the way the sport's set up, it's kind of like WWF meets NASCAR meets hockey. I think it's probably the best way of describing it. And it had some things in it. So there's a guy called Paul Heyman who's one of the commentators in there in the thingy, and it's great because he clearly doing the guy does a great job. Yeah, it's like kind of he's looking at his thing and he's like kind of going, "This is all bullshit. I have no idea what these rules are. They're half it's half written in fucking Russian because they're in it's like Uzbekistan or Tajikistan or one of the stans." Yeah, and he's great. And he was this guy. He was in charge of a thing called ECW, which is Extreme Championship Wrestling, and he was on that. So having him part of that was quite good. There was also a little brief cameo from a guy called Shane McMahon. And he is the son of Vince McMahon, who owns WWF, which was quite interesting. John McTiernan was in the background in one of the shots I spotted him. I just think he was in there more than one. The guy who played Tank from Matrix, the first one, the proper Matrix film, she was in there. I didn't notice, but Jolene, because I checked who was in it, because I was checking if John McTiernan was in it uncredited. Jolene Blaylock from Enterprise was in it because she was Rebecca Watson-Mush's stunt double.
Oh, okay.
So she was in it. So she had like a thing there, and then there was some other bits. So Slipknot was in it. Pink was in it. They used a lot of Rob Zombie music too. It's one you can't. The rollerball thing is like just look at it. It's people just it killed the franchise. It destroyed it. It was a shit remake. That's what it was. Just a shit remake. So that's fine. These things happen. But yeah, it's John McTiernan's worst film. But You are compensated by boobies. So that's it. If you watch Rollerball 2002, I don't know how because it's fucking difficult to find. Rollerball 2002, yeah, you have, yeah, I don't know if my wife wrote something about plot holes in there. What do you call it?
You didn't notice.
It's not. It's. Watch it if you're bored and it's on some streaming thing and you're curious. Yeah. So yeah,
we've got one left, haven't we?
Basic, which has got
John
Travolta in and someone else. I can't remember who someone else is.
Okay, because then we're going to have to come up with some a new one. So yes, well, we've only got Severance and Reacher from next. Oh yeah, no, we've got Daredevil as well.
Yes.
Let's hope that they don't screw up the Punisher.
That's my concern. Because
Captain America, I think, is officially flopped from what I'm reading.
They spent ridiculous amount of money. They should have, what do you call it, pushed for to cancel it. When they first tested poorly, they should have just cancelled it. Apparently, the director, because they've been casting directors rather than hiring people to do a job, he had a very colourful name for one of his films. Yeah. Oh, the other person in it is Samuel L. Jackson. So you get to see Samuel L. Jackson. I know you like that, like Nige does.
Does he say motherfucker?
For Basic. Oh, I imagine he. Well, yeah. But yeah, it's the Punisher thing, because I remember them doing the thing in the because there was loads of people complaining on YouTube about the change of logo because they made it more demonic rather than skull shaped. And it's because of the police, not criminals or anything like that. But hey, on that note, I think we should end it here.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We will be with you next week. Keith, say something.
Something. Bye-bye.
Really? That's what I get? Fuck. Fucking tired. Okay,
We're still live. We're still live.
We're still live.
We're still live. Press the stop button, Gareth. We're still live.
Why are we still live?
I don't know why we're still live.
Oh well, yeah, thanks. I know it's odd. Let's try again.